So the last couple nights, Ava and I have been kind of doing powwows on our coffee table.
Yes.
Working. Like, what exactly have you been working on?
Yeah, so Lauren and I have this coffee table, and we've dedicated it to basically all of our creative projects. It's everything from game nights to writing movies and books. And currently, what I'm working on is a movie musical that I'm working on getting ready for pitch. And it's been such an exciting process getting to write the music and create characters and just create this beautiful story. And so that's what I've been working on. I've been bouncing ideas off of you. Like nobody's business. I literally will sing songs that I write a cappella, and they will be in the wrong
Sometimes
key.
she doesn't even know she's doing it. She'll just be working.
Sometimes I'll just be singing. And then the other day I jumped up off the couch and I went to the mirror and I was like, I was like, oh yeah, she needs to hit a D sharp.
Oh yeah, we literally were like, okay, it needs to be octave higher.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. So what have you been doing?
So I'm finishing up the long synopsis for my book.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I never really did that, so I've been pitching without it. And I'm just going to say to myself that that's why I haven't been able to get a literary agent yet. So now I'm going to finish this long synopsis for my book and then pitch that. And I've been hearing a lot about different authors who have been able to sell their book and get a movie deal at the same time. So that's just kind of what I'm working towards. Like, I think that that's going to be my goal.
Yeah, her book is amazing. I mean, like, it went viral on TikTok. That's why... Lauren, it went viral on TikTok, okay? She has people that still, like, are in her DMs every day. They're asking you for the book. They're wanting to learn more about it. And so, like, I feel like this year has just been a building block year. You and me have just been building from the ground up, and now we're here, and we're finally getting to see these things come to fruition, which is incredibly
And
exciting.
It's really funny. Not funny. It's scary to me that I'm turning 20 in, like, 4 months, and I was, like, joking about it. I was on set for something and I was joking about it to one of the producers and he was like, you're only 19. I was like, yeah, but like 20, man. Like, I don't want to turn 20. He's like, why? I was like, because I had goals that I wanted to reach to say I did it before I was 20 or I did it as a teenager. And he's like, what? And I was like, to get my book published. And I know that sounds like almost like, oh, so he made a joke. He's like, oh, so you're such a failure now because you get your book published when you're 19, like as a joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but... it would have been so cool to say I was published.
But also at the same time, I think that like where you and I are at, things have just lined up divinely.
Yeah.
Everything has happened exactly when it's needed to happen, down to the wire with this apartment that we're supposed to be moving in 10 days, and we might be homeless if we don't get approved. But we're down to the wire with that, but it's going to work out because everything you and I do, it works out.
We got a rejection letter this morning from an apartment. We've never experienced that.
Well, it's almost worse than not booking a job, guys.
Because you didn't book the home.
You didn't book the home. So.
Anyways.
So we have a really cool and amazing, fantastic guest on today.
So exciting.
David DeLuise, which we are super excited about.
So blessed that he's here. When he said that he wanted to be on, I was just over the moon. We're going to have such a good conversation, and the world is our oyster.
He's everyone's favorite, I guess, childhood television dad. Yep. I know he was mine growing up, and when I told my dad that David DeLuise was going to be on the podcast, he was like, no way, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. So it's really incredible.
Can't wait. It's going to be great.
Okay, I'm sorry, hold for sound.
Speed.
Let's roll. Hey guys, welcome back to Hold for Sound. I'm Ava.
I'm Lauren.
And we have
David DeLuise!
I'm David DeLuise.
No way.
Oh my God.
We are so excited.
I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I can't believe you're not 20 yet. I'll tell you why. Because you do so much. We've worked together.
Yes.
You've been, promoting the Wizards Pod, and it just is so weird. I have two daughters. Mm-hmm. One is 30 and one is 25. They do not have their own podcast. No, I'm kidding. But it just is, this generation, your generation. You guys are kind of standing out. You're a little unique in the idea that you want to achieve things, because I think that there's this, and please no letters or don't get mad at me, but there's this like, I'm going to make my overhead very, very minimal, and I'm not going to do a lot, and I don't want to do a lot.
Yeah.
People
and I understand that it's really hard, like to at my younger age, I could have saved enough money to buy a house which I did. But nowadays, it's like almost impossible to do that because the spread is getting so far away from the jobs that I can do in order to save to buy a house, you know? So there seems to be this little... Is lackadaisical a word?
I'm
dyslexic, so I don't know.
No, lackadaisical is a word, yeah.
But it's so interesting, and I'm trying to say that both of you and we work together as well in promoting, what's that, a hat?
What's
Crazy,
that?
funky, chunky hat, overslept, hair tightly, trying to look like Keira Knightley. We've been there, we've done that.
We see right through your funky hat.
I did it! You know, when we were filming that, because we did the promos for those, I got through it once, almost. Yes. And it wasn't the greatest because you really have to like get in there.
No,
you know?
And we watched it like every single day growing up, like, so we know the song.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? That song was only in one episode and sung twice. They never went back to it. I mean, they might have gone back to it once. If you can't see them, they're looking shocked.
We are shocked. We're shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I can double check that, and I'm sure people will, but it's interesting what sticks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want to tell you a story about that song in Mexico, but first I want to say I had no idea that I was going to get a catchphrase. You know what I mean? Like, I was at the Grove, it's a mall, and I was going down the escalator, going to see a movie, just innocently entering the world.
David DeLuise in the wild.
At the European style mall.
And someone in front of me was like, what? And recognized me from my voice. And that was crazy for me. That was like, whoa, that's interesting, you know? And then, you know, fans then started coming up to me and go, can you do that thing where you go, ooh, there, it's Alex. It became my thing. But I didn't know that.
I was actually going to ask you, do people come up and ask you to do it?
Yeah. And then they want me to say their name. Or, you know, if they order a cameo at cameo.com. God, look, I'm just selling. Look, and I know we'll talk about my other future endeavors that are coming up. But when I was... don't want to sound like an asshole, but I have a place down in Mexico, in Cabo. And when I was leaving... There was this, like, it was like spring break. So there was, you know, I don't know, 20 college women in this area, and they recognized me. And I was by myself. So I was like, hey, I'll talk to you guys. We'll have a conversation. They asked me a question. And then I was like, do you guys know the hat song? They sang it, and I was like, oh, that's good for Instagram. So I filmed 20, you know, people singing the hat song, and you know, you go like, wow, you've made a little bit of a mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's your podcast. I'm going to stop talking.
Oh, no, see, that's why you're here to talk, and we're so excited to have you. I mean, the hat looks great, first off.
Thank you.
Absolutely, everybody go get one.
The photos, too, were great, by the way.
Oh, yeah, well, I have something to tell you.
Oh, she has a confession.
What happened?
I've never taken photos.
That was her first time.
No, I know, but listen, I understand that it was new, but what you did was you helped us out.
Sure.
In promoting the first launch of our gear. And with that said, the two of you really stepped up, and Jennifer found the place.
Which was gorgeous.
A Dreamco LA.
Yeah,
Dreamco LA.
Yeah,
which,
beautiful.
if you don't know about it, check it out. There's a wonderful place to shoot and also have parties and stuff. But we did. It was just fun. We had a good time, and I everything you did, and that you took the pictures. And we did a lot of stuff for the socials.
Right. Yeah.
I know what TT is, everybody. That's TikTok.
Oh, yes, it is.
TikTok, yes.
Do you remember Dub Smash?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Oh,
Dub Smash, was
wow.
a TikTok thing where you would, you know, say little sayings or little
like
things like that.
Just audio.
It was TikTok before TikTok happened. So it was very interesting.
It was in between Vine and TikTok. It was in between.
I love that you know Vine. You were probably 12 when Vine came out.
Oh, no. I was like 3.
I think she was like 6.
No, come on. I was going older.
I just turned 18.
Listen. I was 18 in 1987 when my wife and I be like, you know where that's from? We always say 1987. That's just our go-to. But that's that was really when I was that age, your age. I was just trying to score some beer. You guys are like doing podcasts and stuff and commercials and, you know. I love the fact that you were like, I'm going to take the pictures. And something that used to happen on your resume back in the day was you would put special skills. Mm-hmm. I can horseback ride. I can do archery. I can ice skate. I can this. I can that. You know, it's like list everything, because if you can't ride a horse and they say, "Can you ride a horse?" You say, "Of course," and then you go learn how to ride a horse.
Horseback riding is on my special skills, and I don't think I've ever ridden a horse.
You guys do have special skills.
Oh, we have a little section.
So.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how much it gets utilized, but
my dad was in this business, and your dad probably was a big fan of my dad back in the day.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, my parents absolutely know who your dad was.
So for people who don't know, his name was Dom DeLuise. Both my parents. I loved your questions, by the way.
Aw, good.
Okay,
I'm so glad.
But both my parents were in the business, and my dad was pretty famous. I mean, I'm going like Jim Carrey, you know. God, there's a plant. It's fake. You don't have to water it. So he used to say, just do it. Just get in there.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm not saying do, but every once in a while, when you're going to an audition, put some makeup on, and then come in and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have to get back to work. Can I just jump in real quick? Because they want what they can't have. Wow. If you tell them that, they just were like, let's do that. But it's not to be mean to the other actors. It's just to get them, to
see you
or want you, because they can't have you, then they want you, which is so silly.
Which would explain why I booked that show that I got the call back for
with the Kids Network. Yes, yep, that's happened.
Sense.
Yeah, well,
okay.
And here's another audition thing. No, I never did this, but you can bring your stuff. You bring your purse. You just hit record on your phone. Leave your backpack in the room. Say thank you so much. Bye. Leave, and then they talk about you. As soon as you leave,
oh, shoot, I forgot.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot my backpack. You go and get it.
Wow.
But nowadays, you just send in your tape. I mean, it's all about self-tape.
And then you don't hear anything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, nowadays, if you can't film yourself and you can't lip sync, you're in this business. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. No, for real. Yeah, you got good wisdom. It's true.
There's nothing that you should do all the stuff that you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And hence, you haven't taken photos before, but you're like, I can do this, and you had a very nice camera.
Yeah,
and we did it. Yeah. We achieved our goal, which was great.
Yeah.
You just do it.
You just
and I've said this, and it's also in threes. Just do it.
Oh, yes.
And all of the slogans that you see typically are in threes, And I've been learning that because I'm about to be in business.
Oh, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
I'll let you guys...
we actually have a little bit of a
we have a surprise for you.
What? I love surprises.
But first, what is it that you're going into business for? You have a coffee shop, a cafe.
I have a cafe opening soon. We just have to clear the health department. Yeah. It's called the Bigfoot Cafe in Pine Mountain Club. It's about an hour and 45 minutes out of town. It's where my dad built a house. Now, I normally would say 1987, but it was 78. I've gone up there many times when I was a little kid, and my wife and I now, that's our primary residence.
Yeah.
For tax purposes, just in case anybody's wondering. No. And we have two other friends, Amy and Bill, who were running a cafe, and then we decided to pool together.
Amazing.
And we've put it together. I didn't know anything about doing it, but like a producer or anybody who is good at problem solving, that's you do. You problem solve.
Yeah.
The lease needs to be solved. We need to check this, or the fire department needs to come in, or the gas company. AmeriGas. I mean, no joke. They're the worst. the worst. I'm not even going to bore you with the 8-hour story of trying to get them. They're still trying to come. We're waiting on them. But my wife, Yulia, when she was 10, she painted a painting of herself doing what she wanted to do in the future, which was to be a florist. And that painting, I think it got first place. I don't know. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. But in a competition. So this painting was really, meaningful to her. And she's a voice actress. She does a lot of writing and directing and voice acting of German scripts because she's German. So she'll take anything English and bring it into German language and all that stuff. Yeah. So, but she wanted to do florist stuff. So now there's no flowers in Pine Mountain. So she's going to like the downtown LA flower market thing and then making bouquets, and now we're going to have flowers. And so it's a coffee shop. Also, Bill, who's one of our partners, is, oh my God, I'm talking way too long about this. No. But he used to have a bookshop. Yeah. And so it's going to be books, for sale, homemade jewelry, and what? Why is she looking at each other like?
I'm just gonna come hang out there for hours.
Oh yeah, you guys have to come.
Oh, we're 100%
We're like so there. It just seems like such a nice environment.
It's really cute, and it's a very small town. There's a lot of politics in a small kind of town like that. But we're getting over all the hurdles, and it's Bigfoot is going to be there. We have a photo op. We have a life-size. Well, I don't know if it's life-size, but we have a 6'5" Bigfoot that you can take a picture with. And there's going to be amazing coffee. We're going to have good matcha. We're going to have matcha lattes and everything, right? I might actually go there. We go to Chacha Matcha or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? It's so good, but we got the cream of the crop matcha.
Good.
My wife Yulia, she doesn't f*** around. She's like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Yeah, of course. That's how it should be done.
Yeah. So that is the Bigfoot Cafe. And we're going to sell merchandise and everything.
Yay!
And we designed that logo and all that stuff. So
amazing.
It's very,
Well, we have a little surprise for you.
What?
So here's the thing. I was just home in North Carolina. I grew up in a really small mountain town. And this was handcrafted by somebody in town. I bought it at the little market.
Oh my God, I'm
and it's for
smelling a Bigfoot. Oh my God. Okay. This is so exciting. Hold on.
ASMR?
Oh my God. A beautiful sticker of Bigfoot, and that is going to go up in the cafe. That is so great. So it's a wood-made Bigfoot. That's amazing.
They make them in my hometown.
And if you can't see it, it's not fully flat. There's a little bit you can see his face in there. It's so cute. Yeah. If we weren't doing a podcast, I would come over there and hug you and say thank you afterwards. Look, air hug.
Air hug.
That was so funny. This is very sweet of you. Thank you so much.
We thought that it would be a good addition to your...
Yes. And look, it also could be an earring.
Oh, perfect.
Look at that. How hip am I?
That's like what it was meant for.
I just need 2 now. No, thank you so much. And this sticker is great.
Cute?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Mr. Foot right there. That is very sweet of you. I was going to, this is so stupid, but I was going to bring you guys something too, but I forgot it at home. So I'll send it to you in the mail and it'll be a surprise.
I'll see you soon. We'll get it then.
Yeah, so it's exciting. I'm opening this cafe. I never thought I would do that, but our friends were working there, and the arrangement was not great. So I said, why don't we just do this together? So we did, and it's happening. Amazing. As soon as the health department says okay,
which will happen soon. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You know what they do in Germany? They hold their thumb. So you hold your thumb. That's their fingers crossed. Oh. It's so interesting because there's things that are. Why do we cross our fingers? Do we know? I don't know. Although I follow some guy on Instagram, and he always is like, why is lint in your belly button? I'll explain it to you. Or why are there ridges on a quarter? I'll explain it to you. I love that. I don't know what his name is.
That's amazing. All the questions of the world that you want answered.
See, now this is the brain fart. What did I just say to lead me into that? Why?
Oh, health department, cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers.
Yes, in Germany. They hold their thumbs. We say two birds with one stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They say two flies with one clap. Isn't that interesting?
Be gone.
Rude.
Oh my God, you guys are so
Okay, amazing. Well, I wanted to ask you what you were obviously working on a podcast before the strike happened.
Yes. Which I've not said this officially yet.
Oh, no.
But SAG made a mistake and said that we were allowed to be on, so we're going to be coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wizards of Waverly Pod coming back.
Waverly Pod is coming back.
Amazing. Oh my gosh,
Isn't that great?
It's exciting.
Wow.
So what was your how were you approached with this?
Well, Jennifer Stone,
Right.
who played Harper in Wizards, called me and said that there is another friend of hers who's starting these podcasts, these rewatch podcasts. And I was like, okay. I don't know, I'm doing a podcast. I didn't realize podcasts, it's more doing a mini television show or an interview show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just sitting there talking like it used to be.
Yes.
And the only experience I had with podcasts was I produced, acted, and directed and did the craft service of something called Grandma for President, which was a scripted podcast that's on Audible about a little boy who wants his grandmother to be president.
Aww.
And she becomes a viable candidate through a series of events. And I hadn't sat down and done an actual talking thing. So we had lunch. I got almost a year ago, November, and she just said, "You want to, rewatch and do this?" And it's interesting because Jennifer never really watched. She only watched playback because when you're filming a show, you pre-film things sometimes on the day before you shoot, like a Thursday, and then on Friday they do playback and show the audience the stuff that you've already recorded. And that's what Jennifer had watched. She hadn't watched the show.
Oh, no.
So she's not doing a rewatch. She's doing a watch.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
But it's a lot of work to do
Oh, yeah.
the podcast. And in the beginning, I was like, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Right.
I'm just going to say what I'm going to say and be
Absolutely.
truthful about stuff. But every once in a while, something can be taken out of context or whatever. So now I'm rewatching the Rewatch podcast. I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? It's just like, what?
I do. Yeah.
So, to answer your question, Jennifer and Brendan from Podco called me, and then we started doing this, and it's been really nice. It's been really fun because, oh my God, the fans just
Love it.
Love it.
I was
And
just about to say.
I mean, when the show was at its height, we were recognized a lot, and then it dies down a little bit, and then we're back on Disney Plus, and people are seeing you again. Because also, if you think about it, like our Wizards movie that played got 12 to 15 million people watching. We were second behind High School Musical and all that. But now, 100 million people, whatever it is, watch Disney Plus. So the amount of people that are seeing it now is so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice. And then once we've started the podcast, so many more people are like, "Oh my God, it's so fun!" And it's interesting because it brings up a lot of, by your actions, I think people see your character. And there are certain actions of certain people that I've not been very happy with. And it's just interesting how David Henry and Jake T. Austin have said no to doing the show. But if we're a happy family and it's so great, why are they not doing the podcast?
Sure.
When Selena took time to talk to us, it takes an hour.
Yeah.
You can phone it in. I don't understand. I did a lot for them. You know what I mean? You guys are like the same person. Now, I've asked them both to do it, and they both said no. So, what's politically correct? Do I call them out and say that? Do I not? We had a big moment on the show where I was like, I want them to know that I want to do the show, because a lot of the fans are like, why isn't David and Jake on the show? As if we were saying no.
But no, you guys want that.
Yeah, of course we want them. We want everybody from the series, except maybe 2 people. But we want, not David and Jake. Oh, that sounded stupid, right? But that is, it's just really interesting to me. You know? And then the other side of that is you get people come in that you might have not talked to a lot, and you get all this wonderful information from them or their perspectives on things, you know? Right. So we're going to be going back.
Yay. Yeah. Amazing.
What do you, it's official here. It's the first time announced.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out in 5 days.
Exclusive.
This one.
Okay. So we're coming back, everybody.
Yay.
I think the beginning of November, because we have to still edit all the things.
Well, and I was going to say, too, rewatching, having these fans come back to life and having new fans, right? What is it like to be one of, like, the most loved Disney dads?
I don't know. I just, it's interesting because what I want is just people to enjoy me, you know, whether I'm the Disney dad or not. But I mean, what is it? Eric from Good Luck Charlie?
Yeah.
That guy. No, I'm kidding. We auditioned many times. Eric is the nicest guy. He's so sweet.
No way.
A lot of the on the internets, they kind of, who do you like better?
Yeah, you guys are both phenomenal.
Jerry or
Duncan, Bob Duncan.
Yeah, Bob Duncan. Yeah, exactly. So we both auditioned for American Pie 2 or American Pie 3, but we were supposed to be these gay designer people, and then you had to wear assless chaps at one point, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want anybody to see my ass, but he got the part. And then I did a very small part, but we did Robin Hood Men in Tights together. And Eric and I we were in the same zone as the auditioning for stuff, and he's very talented. And so I'm a dad. My dad was a wonderful dad and very likable, and I played a dad on TV, so I wanted to do this book on dads, like what's it like to have a famous dad, or what's it like to be a dad on TV, or and that kind of stuff. My brothers were not. They were like, because I asked them, because I was going to talk about my dad, and I think a lot of famous people's kids talk shit about their parents, so they might. I was like, I'm not going to say anything bad. What am I gonna do? So the book didn't happen. Okay. But it feels good. I mean, people are happy when they see me, and I mean, there might be 1 or 2 people that don't like me. Yeah. You know who you are. No, I'm kidding. And it feels good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I've said this story before. I was auditioning for and getting pilots and doing shows, and I did a show that was on after Friends with Christina Applegate called Jessie, which only went for a season, but I was in the mix of like I could hit on a network show. And then cable, Disney Channel, what is that? I don't know. Now this is, again, 1987, this is a long time ago. So I was like, I don't want to be the dad going, hey, don't do that. And at the end, it's like, I told you so.
Right.
But Peter Marietta, the showrunner, he really made it an ensemble. Oh, so absolutely. That made it fun. And I was very happy to do the show. But, per the strike and everything, It's a Laugh Productions, AFTRA. I didn't realize this, but part of my weekly salary was already prepaid residuals. So 75% of my salary was prepaid, and I didn't know that. My manager was like, yeah, you get residuals, but I didn't know that. I would have changed that, aspect of it. So a residual check I get from, like I did a CSI. You play that, you get a base amount for the week that you work, and then you get a nice chunk, quite a few $1,000s when it replays, And so for the entire series of Wizards, I'll get like $300 for the residuals that come out. So, but the residual thing that I got from it was I directed some episodes.
Yes,
and
you
in
did.
the DGA I got good residuals.
Right.
And also, I got to do another kind of career path thing, which didn't end up. It's a lot of work. Acting is like, what? Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Russo.
Absolutely.
And then you go back to sleep. But directing, you got to be there the whole time.
Absolutely.
It's exhausting. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Of course.
Anybody who wants to be a director, best thing you can do is just make a decision.
Yeah.
So Bob Berlinger, who had directed a lot of this show that I did, Third Rock from the Sun, and he had directed a few Wizards, and I was having lunch with him, and I'm, learning how to direct. And he said, you got to make a decision. Someone came up and was like, do you want this to be blue or green? He goes, blue. And then the guy walked away, and he goes, I have no idea what that was or what's happening with that, but I can always change it.
You got to make a decision.
You know what I mean? Make a decision and move on.
Yeah.
And also the heads of the departments, everybody already knows. Like my first episode was there was a little leprechaun in a little box. And so the prop person came up and said, which cauldron do you want? Which size? Because he was a leprechaun with gold. And I was like, well, which one do you think? And he said, well, the middle one, because we have 4 extras and this and that. And I said, well, then the middle one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool, too, because, growing up, honestly, Hannah Montana and Wizards were the 2 shows that I watched the most. And I remember, I would stand in front of the TV and sing you guys' theme song. You know what I mean? And
or do the little
I would do my mom thing. That's the reason I do what I do. I feel like watching you guys growing up was such an influential part in deciding to become creatives and understanding that this is real art and there's work here. And so I feel really inspired just listening and talking.
And it's the coolest thing to even know you from let me expand on that.
DeLuise is sitting
we watched you, but then all the knowledge that you have and how you just give that and bestow it upon us is amazing, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, it's cool. We're just incredibly thankful for that.
Well, also you gotta be careful though, because you don't want to mansplain.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But that's a real thing. My wife was like, his mansplainer. You know what happens? It's weird. Thank you guys for saying that. It's very sweet. And sometimes we'll go somewhere, and then Yulia will ask this guy a question, and then he'll just look at me and respond the whole time.
Wow.
So what I do now is I just avert my eyes.
Yep.
And I make it so that he can't look at me. Wow. But it also is very telling about the person you're talking to.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. So
gosh.
I think sometimes I just ask. Would you like to know this information?
Yeah.
But here I'm just fucking saying
of course.
And that's what we want.
Well, and your mom was on Broadway?
Yes, my mom sang on Broadway and worked with Buster Keaton and did at the Pantages the Music Man.
Yeah,
with Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
And it was interesting. Christian Slater played there's a stuttering boy in the Music Man, and my mom played his mom. And we used to play in the back, when I was there and hang out and stuff. And then, and this is a silly story, but Costas Mandylor, who I was in acting class with, and you don't know his name because he worked his way out of the business, but he was doing a movie called Mobsters. I got into a club when I was 19. I had a fake ID.
Yeah.
And I got in there, and I saw Costas, because we were in acting class. And I'm like, hey, it totally ignored me, which was up. And then I walk past the table, and Christian Slater is sitting there because they're working on a movie together. And he's like, DeLuise, hey, how you doing? Sit down. This is very interesting. I think I say that story because you have to be just nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Why be a douche? There's certain actors, I think, that are, whether they're famous or not famous, they're just douche people. Mm-hmm. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah. Well, I heard something that was if you're, I think actually someone that we had on this podcast, Cooper said this, if you're rude and mean with money, you're rude and mean without money and without success. It's you're the same person, just with.
And then there's a whole, different situation for if you're a female and you're, saying, that's not okay. Oh my gosh, she's a diva.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or just how you present yourself. And also for, I guess a man could be in that same zone. I did a movie recently with the SAG interim agreement.
Yay!
Called The Italians. And it's very much like My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
I love it.
And the Lainey Kazan is in it, who was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding too. She played my mom. She was so much fun. And Rob Estes is in it, and also Abigail Breslin. It took me a second, but I got her. Amazing, just wonderful cast, and everybody was very helpful. So I go there, and they're like, "Do you need a water? Do you want a thing? Do you want anything?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm totally good." And then someone else comes by. Would you like something? Are you okay? Do you want something? Or And I'm like, I'm good. If I need something, I'll ask. And then they keep coming by.
Wow.
Now, it's almost like you want to go, all right, go get me an In-N-Out burger or something.
Right.
But, if you're saying, no, I'm good, I mean, at a certain point, you're like, stop asking me. Like, I'm okay. And you don't want to turn into, they're like, you're nice. And I'm like, I mean, who wasn't nice?
Yeah.
And the movie prior, there was a not nice.
I see.
And that's what they were dealing with. And somebody, I don't know, even got fired, or somebody was, I'm not going to say his name.
No.
But you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be mean to people, You just say what you want. But The Italians is going to be funny, and it's going to be great.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I played Uncle Sal with a missing tooth, who said, "Forget about it."
I love it. Forget about it.
And I got to wear my dad had like one of those. It's just like a kind of a Peaky Blinders kind of hat thing,
There you go.
And I got to wear his hat and tracksuits.
Amazing.
So I mean,
track.
forget about it.
Forget about it.
So, have you yourself ever considered Broadway?
Look, that's a lot of lines to learn. It is a lot, and now I'm older, and learning lines is a little trickier. And I'm not a singer, and my cousin John DeLuise is a vocal coach, and he's like, everyone can sing, everyone can do this, So I sat down with him, and we worked on singing for an hour, and he's like, "You don't ever have to sing." And I was like, I know. I have a very outgoing personality, and everybody wants me to be there and around. And let's go to karaoke, and you can sing. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not a singer.
Yeah.
So being on Broadway typically is singing and doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, when I was 21, very close to how old you guys are, I had a baby. So in 2 years, think about having a baby right now.
No. Oh, okay.
Right? Crazy. So I did something called the Groundlings, where I paid them $400, and I did my thing, and I was, and then they're like, we want you to do the first course again. And I was like, I don't have time. I need to go and get a job and raise money.
Because it's hard to get into Groundlings too, right? Is it that
well, don't you have to pay? You have to pay,
Yeah, you have to pay to do the courses, and they bring you up to different levels and things like that. And I understand, and maybe, I don't know what it was. I just, what I'm trying to say is, I couldn't do a play when I was younger. Right. I needed to make money so that I could feed my family. You know what I mean? That it was, so doing a play would be very interesting, but terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're wrapping up a little bit here, but
what?
I know.
Come
Time has
on.
just flown with you, David DeLuise.
I want to know, what is one piece of advice you'd recommend for young artists to do, and something that you don't do that,
Something to do and something not to do. Well, first of all, I have to say, hold for sound. Whenever that happens on the set, all I want to do is, you guys say hold for sound, then I'll show you what I want to do.
Hold for sound?
I mean, isn't that all you want to do when they're holding? And then everybody's like, oh, you have to freeze, and you want to take one step, or, you want to, I want to check my phone, but I don't know if it's on or whatever. You know, it just is so funny.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I just want to tell everybody one thing too.
Yeah.
AGB is Actors Giving Back.
Yes.
I teach an acting class. Jennifer Stone's one of the teachers.
Annalisa Vanderpool.
And you can, yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And you can, everybody who you get taught from is working, very talented people. You could do improv, scene studies, and you get to shoot a scene with me, which is cool. And you can go onto the Instagram, and it's there.
We'll put it
the
there.
AGB, yeah. But what I would do is, to answer your question, don't pay anybody anything to try to be in this business. You know what I mean? Don't, sometimes, like, oh, you want representation, you have to pay me this or that. Or that's like shocking that anybody does that. And follow your gut, follow your intuition. My mom used to say this, we all have a special gift inside of us. So give your gift, be you, be your unique self. And it, just do it, like you were like, I got a camera, let's go take some pictures, and don't listen. Okay, so there's an actor who you guys are not going to know, but you can look him up, everybody. Charles Nelson Riley. He was one of the funniest people out there, and he was a good friend of my family, and he did a one-man play. I know you said wrap it up, and I'm doing this. He was in a supermarket, and somebody was like, look, Charlie, there's Charles Nelson Riley. And then they were like, no, he's dead. He's dead. And he said, well, the fact that people thought I was dead, I probably should do a show. I probably should do a one-man show. And in that show, he talked about dream droppers, about people in his life that had encouraged him and said something. Because most people are like, you're going to do what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
Absolutely.
You think you're good? Whatever. Oh, you have a script, or you have a podcast, you have this. Well, f*** those people. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't listen to the naysayers.
Absolutely.
And so Charles was like a dream dropper for me. I mean, he had a friend of his mom ran a theater, and she was like, you're talented and you do this, and that felt good, and it gave him the courage to do this. So when your parents say to you, oh, you're wonderful, you're like, it's a fun, my parents. Like,
Yeah.
But when someone else that you respect sees that in you, it feels good. So he... I just will never forget one time we were at in Malibu walking on the beach, and he started just telling me, like, you're good, you're funny, you're fun, you're this, you're that, whatever. And that felt so good to me. So believe in yourself, do it. And just life-wise, surround yourself with positive people.
Absolutely.
Don't surround yourself with naysayers.
Yes.
You guys already know that, so I didn't say any.
No, it's just good to be reminded of things like that,
Of course.
So,
absolutely.
this has been so much
This has been great.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? What is your Instagram?
Oh my God, my Instagram is my name, David DeLuise.
Perfect.
And then not my X, but my Twitter. Okay, so real quick, when we were on Wizards, Twitter had just started, and everybody was like, "What? 140 characters? Oh, I'm taking a walk. When am I? And I did an interview, and I was like, well, if Selena has something happening, she has, I think I said 500,000 followers. Now she has 1 million, 140 million or whatever. Yeah. But they realized, oh, it's advertisement. Oh, you can get to people,
Yeah.
So, what's funny? The Wizards Pod Instagram has more followers than I do.
We're gonna change that right now.
But the Wizards Pod, and I'm just David DeLuise on there,
Cool.
and also you can follow the Bigfoot Cafe.
The Bigfoot Cafe and AGB.
Yes, exactly.
All of it. We'll.
Oh my God, that's so funny! And thank you so much for my Bigfoot.
Well, thanks
that's so
for
sweet
being
of you guys,
here.
and thank you for having me. And look at that. I heart you guys.
We heart you.
We heart you. Thank you, David DeLuise, everybody.
Bye. Wow, David, that was amazing. So great.